Namaste and blessings, Amani Center. Happy New Year. Happy New Year and Happy New You. Here it is, 2023. I know some of us are still writing 2022 on certain documents, but it's fine. We'll get with the program somewhere around June, but it's fine. 2023, and here we are once again with a great and grand opportunity to align ourselves with consciousness, with spirit, with God, so that we can live our best lives. That is the purpose of the daily practice of cleaning the slate. Now, as we move into this, what I want us to do is pause and breathe and reflect on this parable as told by Yeshua. Yeshua says, life very easily can be likened to a classroom. And within the classroom, there is the chalkboard. Or was it a dry erase board? Anyhow, there is a chalkboard. And the chalkboard is like our minds. Now, as the day progresses, there are many things that are written and drawn on the board. And there are many things that are erased from the board. And yet at the end of the day, we may not be able to make out exactly what was written, what was drawn, what numbers, what words, what shapes. We may not be able to make them out specifically, but we see the evidence. We see the smudges. We see the marks that have been left by the eraser. The board is not cleaned until the end of the day when the teacher selects a star pupil. Marcy, please come forward. Clean the board. And Marcy is like, yes, I love being teacher's pet, right? And Marcy comes up and says, okay, here's the sponge, wet and clean and clean and clean. Not unlike Mr. Miyagi with wax on, wax off. Clean the board, clean the board. Now, even the smudges are removed. Jesus goes on to say, the same holds true of a dry erase board. That's why Jesus reminds us to be sure to use this at the end of the day for spray, 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 and wipe, 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 and then the board is clean. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So you know that really wasn't a parable from Jesus, but it could have been if he had access to a classroom with a chalkboard or a dry erase board, because nonetheless, the lesson of the daily practice of cleaning the board, cleaning the slate, rings true. So what exactly are we saying? Throughout the day, there are smudges, and then we clean and wipe the slate clean, clear, ready to, but wait a minute, but okay, so pause. Let's really dial it back. The daily practice of cleaning the slate. Well, what is the slate? The slate represents our minds, our hearts, our beliefs, our filters, our baggage, our consciousness. The slate, wherever we hold thoughts and memories, all of the stuff that we tend to carry into the next. You know what? Remember last week when Marcy told me that she was going to give me some of those brownies? And she never did. She never gave them to me. You know what? Yes, I know it was last week. And I'm still mad at, that's the slate. That is me writing on the board of my consciousness. I have been done wrong and I want revenge. I want justice. And I hold the slate. Okay, so if the slate is our minds and our consciousness, our beliefs, our paradigms, etc., then what is this cleaning practice? There are a great many things that clean the slate. Forgiveness. And it goes without saying, but I will say it once again. Forgiveness is not about giving people permission to hurt us. Forgiveness is being bitten by a snake, having the venom within our own bodies, because what we do to the snake has nothing to do with where the venom is now coursing. Forgiveness is getting the venom out of our own bodies. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the snake. It can if we get to a point where we want to. Forgiveness is about getting the poison, getting the venom, getting the toxins out of our own consciousness, our own bodies, our own hearts, and our own lives. That is forgiveness. So once again, the cleaning practice, forgiveness, meditation, acts of compassion, prayer, of course, journaling. Be mindful that therapy, actually going to see a counselor, a professional therapist, psychologist, is also a practice that assists us in cleaning the slate. There is also the Buddhist concept, the Buddhist practice of non-attachment, mindfulness, and of course, gratitude, where we are reminded of the words of Meister Eckhart, who said, if the only thing, the only prayer you said your entire life was thank you, it would be enough. Each of these practices, when added to the others, build such a practice. See, one thing, a dry sponge, a wet sponge, well, I need water. How do I carry the water? Bucket. From where? Faucet down the hall. See, each of these things builds to facilitate the ability to clean the slate. I need a sponge. I need a bucket for the water. I need the water. I need a faucet. I need pipes. I need there to be water. I need there to be a reservoir to bring water through the pipes into the bucket. Follow the concept. All of these practices, when done in conjunction with one another, build a momentum that gives us the ability to set ourselves free, to liberate ourselves. And when we liberate our individual selves, it gives us the ability to now go out in the world as 21st century New Thought Good Samaritans, where we now bring this teaching, we bring compassion, we bring all that we know about this oneness of and with God to the world, thereby changing the world. See, we don't just clean the slate for our own tiddlywinks, for our own feel-good moments. We do it so that we become a beneficial presence. We can look at any great examples, the Dalai Lama, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi. We could look at Jesus. We could look at any, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Ernest Holmes, Emma Curtis Hopkins. We can look at any of these people. Did they teach, preach, offer, gift, give, heal in isolation? No. They did it first for themselves. Physician, heal thyself. Metaphysician, heal thyself. And then as their healing became evidence, they then brought it out into the world so that others can learn, others can evolve, others can shift. We do this for the world. Now let's talk about why this is important. Each day, like the chalkboard, our minds and our hearts are going to have experiences that write upon them. Our memories, our regrets, any grudges, any resentments, any bitterness, any baggage, all of this stuff is written on our hearts, is written on our minds, written as our beliefs. Now, there's a passage in the Bible, Romans 2:15, isn't specifically talking about this, and yet it says, so they show, talking about the Gentiles, so they show that the work of the law is written on their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts either accusing or defending them. See, the manner in which whatever is written on our hearts, whatever is written on our minds, we are going to now outpicture and demonstrate accordingly. Actions speak louder than words. Yet those words that are written on our hearts, written throughout our chakras, written on the very DNA and the cellular structure of our lives, as the quantum particles and waves, whatever that is written, we will experience it. We will outpicture it. We will manifest it. So does it not benefit us to be mindful of, well, what is written? grudge, resentment. What is written? Bitterness. What is written? A refusal to let go of whatever that memory is. You remember what that was. That, whatever that is, that comes up and comes up and comes up. It has no choice but to. And so be mindful that even, because we're talking about memories and thoughts, be mindful that even nostalgia can become a stumbling block when nostalgia becomes the elixir that distracts us from living in the present. Remember the good old days. Remember when you could get gas? You could get a whole gallon of gas for 25 cents. Remember that? Wow. I miss those days, but I'm not focused. I'm not being present. It's one thing to, let's go through the family album and look at the photos. Oh man. Remember when grandma put on the clown hat? And it's one thing to go through the album. But if I stay in the album, hoarding nostalgia, hoarding memories that now distract me from being here now, being present now, then I am surrendering my power to some thought of the past. That is not going to evolve me, that is not going to shift me, that is keeping me stuck, keeping me anchored to a dream, to an illusion, because the past is not the present. When we have a happy memory, let it come. Like a cloud, let it come, observe it, and smile. Oh, look, it looks like a unicorn. Do not grasp and try to hold on. Do not try to force the unicorn to stay. Simply observe it and let it go. When we allow our consciousness to operate from lack and scarcity, we cling to the memories. We cling and become attached to those thoughts. And though they are happy memories, they become sources of sadness, sources of longing, sources of unfed and unsatisfied desire. They become a drug that we need to take in order to feel good because we cannot be present. Breathe. Daily cleaning of the slate is a divine act of trust. We trust the universe to provide, and not to provide to us as though it is somewhere, but to provide to itself as us. We trust ourselves to receive, to be open at the top. We trust the spiritual practices. We trust the spiritual principles, and we trust the spiritual laws that we learn and that we practice within this thing called New Thought. We trust love. We trust life-affirming faith. We trust the creative process to manifest accordingly. And we trust that when we surrender and when we clean the slate, that whatever is for our highest and best will be carried forward, carried over. In the same way that I can look at a cloud, I know it's a cloud. I don't have to cling to the concept of cloud. Remember, it's a cloud. I remember cloud. I remember unicorn enough to let it go by and know what it is, but I need not cling to it. I need not try to force my will upon it. I need not put it in a safe little container for me to remember, oh, look, it's unicorn in a cloud. I need not become addicted to. Whatever is in my highest and best carries forth. Love carries forth. Joy carries forth. Gratitude carries forth. And that whatever is not in my highest and best, whatever is not in our highest and best, whatever we do not need is washed away. The slate made clean. Breathe. Because in order to do this practice, we must be in community. There's a book called, which I thought I had beside me, The Aspiring Mystic, where the author, whose name I can't recall right now, he says, community support and training are necessary in order to foster spiritual growth. And when he says spiritual growth, he's referring to the mystical experience, to knowing our oneness with and as God. And so, like the teacher who recruits the student to come forward and clean the board, we need community to be there for us as well, to offer support as well. So, who are your go-to people? When you need uplifting, who do you go to? When you need encouragement, who do you call? When you need comfort, who do you ask? We are a communal species, and we need to belong in a safe, loving, empowering community where we communicate compassionately and where we commune with one another and creatively reimagine the world. Now, be mindful that if we did not, quote unquote, need this, because we need air, we need oxygen. So needing it is not a bad thing. Understanding that that which is God incarnated itself in, through, and as me, in, through, and as you, in, through, and as the Amani Center, in, through, and as each and every one, in order for God to be in connection with itself, in order to identify this thing called love. If I'm not mistaken, it was Carl Sagan who said, "We are the way that the universe learns and knows and recognizes itself." And we do this in community. We do this in unity. We do this in collaboration, cooperation. We do this together. Breathe. So this week, what I want us to do, I want us to build our vulnerability muscles. I want each one of us to select someone, have a conversation with two people, dos personas. Have a conversation with two people about something in your life that you currently have a difficult time wiping away. Breathe. In this conversation, talk about the reasons why it is difficult to clean the slate. What is it that is the issue? What is it that is the hesitation? What is going on that is making it a challenge to surrender and let go, to release, to relinquish, to wipe the slate clean? No matter what it is, to not rehash, to wipe it clean. Breathe. And then talk about what you need in the area of community support. What would assist you in finally being ready, being willing, and being able to clean the slate? What do you need from those around you, from your ohana, your family, from your tribe, your community? What do you need? Do you need someone to sit in silence, simply being present? Do you need prayer? Do you need what? What do you need? What do you want from your community in order to truly wipe the slate clean? To carry into the new day what is life affirming, what is in your highest and best, while surrendering and letting go. What do you need? Breathe. Because we reflect and we understand that with each breath, a new beginning. I don't carry yesterday's breath now. I can't. I couldn't save yesterday's breath if I wanted to. And I can't pre-breathe tomorrow's breath. I breathe right here, right now. And this is a new beginning, a new opportunity to think a new thought. This is a new opportunity to do a new good deed, a new act of kindness, a new act of compassion. This breath, a new opportunity to elevate my consciousness, to elevate my mind, to align my mental equivalents, the thoughts I think, the words I speak, the emotions I feel, and the actions that I engage in that demonstrate my alignment, my conviction to living as a 21st century New Thought Good Samaritan. I breathe this breath, a new beginning, and rise like the phoenix. I breathe this breath and rise into and elevate into and align to that which is my truest highest power. There is only one power and one presence, God, the good, that which is omnipotence itself, omniscience itself, omnipresence itself, that which is love itself. And what it is, I am. And what is true of me must be true of you. And as Ernest Holmes says, the only God we would truly understand is the one that we embody. And so with this breath, a new beginning, a new opportunity to embody all that God is as me. Breathe this divine inhale, Ruach Elohim, the breath of God, God breathing itself. Om Tat Sat, I am that I am. Breathe. Breathe. And wipe the slate clean and begin anew. Namaste, blessings, much love and appreciation, and I am sure I will see you again soon. Take care. Happy New Year. Happy New You. Clean the slate.